Hello, my name is Matthew Conti, and I'm a rural organizer here at Wisconsin Farmers Union. In this video, we will be going over how to leave a public comment on federal agency proposed rules and regulations. The process is fairly simple, and after this short video, we hope that you feel confident enough in leaving your own comments. Comments can be made at Regulations.gov. Once here, we can now begin to look for a specific rule or proposed rule that we are interested in. You can either search for the rule directly in the search bar or filter by type of document, date posted, comment due date, or by the federal agency that is overseeing the area the rule has been proposed for. Today we will be taking a look at a new rule under the Packers and Stockyards Act that has been proposed by the USDA. The ruling is regarding poultry grower payment systems and capital improvement systems. Now that we're on the proposed rules page, you are able to navigate through information about the proposed ruling, such as the due date that public comments are required by, in this case August 9th, how many comments have already been made on this ruling, and you can view each individual comment. There is also a summary of the ruling itself and a detailed description of the ruling that you can read before making a public comment. Now that we have taken a look at the proposed rule, it is time to leave a comment. You can simply do this by pressing the blue comment button at the top of the page. But first, here are some best practices for leaving a comment as described by Regulations.gov. It is important to read and understand the regulatory documents you are commenting on. It is also good to remember that you should feel free to reach out to the agency with any questions you might have about the proposed ruling. When writing a comment, you should be concise and support your claims. Base your justifications on sound reasoning, scientific evidence, and/or how you will be impacted by said ruling. It is also good to note any trade-offs and opposing views in your comment, as well as when making a comment, there is no minimum or maximum length for an effective comment. It is also good to remember that the comment process is not a vote. One well-supported comment is often more influential than 1,000 form letters. You can also view more information and tips about leaving an effective comment on the commenter's checklist at the top of the page. Once you feel comfortable to leave a comment, you can start by writing what you would like those reviewing the rule to know. Whether you're for or against it, it is important to share your personal experience and expertise. You have up to 5,000 characters, so you can leave a well-detailed comment here in the comment section. If you would prefer to write your comment, or if you are writing on behalf of an organization, you can create a document on your preferred writing platform and leave it as an attachment in the Drop Files Here section. After leaving a comment, there are just a few more steps that are required before you can submit it. First is leaving your email address. Providing this can confirm your submission, and you can receive updates on the status of the proposed rule. Next is selecting your identity, which is an important step for those reviewing your comments to help determine who this comment is coming from. You can choose from 3 options: an individual, an organization, or anonymously. Each of these options have their benefits, and we recommend choosing the best that fits your particular situation. As an individual, if you have a particular interest or expertise in the topic, or are impacted by the proposed rule, and you wish that your comment is to be heard and seen publicly, choose this option. Regulations.gov requires you to provide your first and last name, which may be publicly disclosed on the document or the internet. It also asks for your residence and phone number. The next section is an organization. Organizations such as Wisconsin Farmers Union or others can make public comments on behalf of their members. This can be impactful as they will take into account that an organization that represents many members who may be affected by the proposed ruling is sharing their support or dissent. Regulations.gov does not require any personal information if you choose to submit a comment on behalf of an organization. Only the organization type and name is required. Please note that you should always give permission before submitting a comment on behalf of an organization. And finally, anonymously. If you fall into the same category as an individual who cares about and or is affected by a proposed rule, but you do not feel comfortable sharing your name or other personal information, this option allows you to do so without being associated with it. Regulations.gov does not require any personal information if you choose to submit a comment anonymously. Now that you have selected your identity, all that's left is verifying that you are not a robot and hitting the submit button. Thank you for watching this video created by Wisconsin Farmers Union. After watching this, we hope that you feel confident in voicing your opinions and expertise on how these rules and regulations affect you and providing valuable feedback to regulators. Public participation is an essential function of good governance and an important aspect of how these rules and regulations are formed. If you would like to learn more information about Wisconsin Farmers Union or information about how to write a public comment, visit our website, wisconsinfarmersunion.com.